Hey, yeah, I just wanted to. I got cut off by a phone call. I was going to show some stuff using the camera as well. Just looking at that third and first person templates. Let's start with third person. I mean, what's interesting is I started looking at the camera. Did I look at the camera? Yeah, a little bit in the last one. Just in terms of separating its rotation, which thing has the rotation, the character or the player, or both. It should be both, right? Let's have a look. So we got the third person. The camera is part of the character. That's what's interesting. It is the character's camera. There's some stuff I saw as well. I mean, let's have a look at. All right, so. Let's just test what the rotation is to begin with. This should be the default. This will be back to the default. So look, which is well, not the default. The default, whatever I'd saved it previously. That's fine. So we got the we can look around, and we've got. Just ask that. Let's check the settings a bit so we know what they're called. It can't hurt to just keep going over and over this stuff. There was this on the pawn. I think this will be switched off. I'm so slow at the scrolling through these, but at least you kind of get a look at them. Okay, sorry about the banging. We got the builders are in the hall where I live. Where is the pawn? You can type them in here if you're completely lost. Here we go on the pawn. The controller yaw is switched off. Okay, the character movement. We had the settings that we wanted to do with the rotation. Orientate rotation to movement, this is, and not use controller desired rotation, which was the alternative is this. Where he rotates with the camera, but you can strafe in that scenario. That was the difference, right? So I kind of like there are ways that you can create a combination of the two. It's not that hard. You just get these the blueprints out and do a bit of visual script, but I've just so not done that yet that I don't want to try it right now. What I wanted to look at was cameras. I mean, changing all the camera angles and stuff is quite good fun. So if you look at the viewport, we got this guy's camera. That's the view in. So we could change this around. You got the transform of the camera, the sockets, camera options, field of view. The camera boom actually is what's separating the camera from the player in this instance. Use pawn control rotation. It needs that, totally needs that, or it won't be following too well. Enable camera lag. I wanted to check this because I was watching something. This gives it a really nice effect actually. Camera lag. We'll look at that anyway. Target arm length. Whoop. Let's have it. So you see, you can have, what was it? It was 400. We could have a much closer socket offset. We can then go wide on the guy, so you can change settings like that. Let's have a look at that. You see that over the shoulder. I mean, if you're doing a ranged weapon in third person, that's quite a good view. There's all stuff like with a socket, we're always fixed to his right. Can you see as we turn around him? We're kind of to the right of him always. Whereas if you do that with a target, set that to 100 there, it doesn't create that to the right effect. It's kind of, yeah, that's too freaky, isn't it? That kind of effect. That's to do with the target or socket rotation. Let's lose the over the shoulder. What I wanted to look at is the difference between the spring arm and a boom arm. And what would that difference be? I'm not 100%, but I think, can you turn these off? No, let's delete it for now. So we've got the camera boom. That was without the lag on. This with lag on. Just want to compare. There's a few different ways of creating essentially what is a first person view. So it's like if you used to Cinemachine in Unity, this is a bit like damping, I guess. It's not so hot in this. Actually just makes you feel a bit seasick, actually. It's not the best. But people say that's really useful if you go into a third person, is to put that on. The lag on the spring. So what we could do is, say with this camera boom, let's try him like really close up, like at 0. Right, target arm length is 0. The camera's right on him. Why has he got a pelvis view? So it should be a bit higher, right? It should be like Z should be. Let's give him a head height view. And actually you can go ahead, you can go forward of the guy with a negative. So I found it, I think -15 would be okay. So alright, it's using a boom. This doesn't really make sense. Using a boom, we're creating a first person out of a third person. You can see, I don't know if this is multiplayer. It doesn't really matter in this game, but if it's multiplayer, he's got a proper body now for a start. You can see his legs, I think that's his knees. If you look down, yeah, you get all the issues of him having a body. It doesn't make sense, because then you're looking through his body. So with the arms, actually made total sense for a single player, first person, just the arms. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. You don't want to be seeing his body, but you can see his knees coming up sometimes, like when he's jumping, that kind of thing. You know, you get that a little bit. I just want to mess around with it. It's kind of so if we put the lag on there, it's supposed to be really good on a spring arm. I'm not 100% sure the difference is okay, but this is the boom. This is more for the, whoa, look at that. So it's lagging behind where it would be. Yeah, so now we're seeing the back of his head. So that's lag on a boom arm, is giving us the back of his head kind of thing. Ooh. Sure the point of that. This again, I think it's probably, this is another reason why it doesn't make sense with the third person controller, because then you see him, unless you want this weird effect where you see the guy running in front of the camera like this when he's sprinting, and then he comes back to third person. Doesn't really make sense. It's not the first person with just the arms. You wouldn't see that. You probably see his arms like that, maybe like detached arms effect if you're using the boom like that. So let's mess around. If you take the camera, let's completely remove the boom for now. Now the thing was, the boom was set to follow This will get us very like a first person with arms. Use pawn control rotation. So now just the camera has the rotation. Yeah, here we go. I mean, there's no lag on this because it's not the boom arm anymore. This is just straight on us. This is a bit jerky, I think, but this is very like first person, except he does have legs. But yeah, it depends what you think. I don't mind that sometimes. It just reminds you that there is a person there, right? So he's looking down. You don't. Maybe it's because he's in his head. He can see inside his head, etc. But it's like he does have legs. You know, you can really have a look at that. You can set the camera a bit more far forward. You can remove his head. You can turn around and look at his own head in this scenario because he has the control that he can move around. So you can look inside his head. You can mess around with that for ages. So that's without a spring arm. It's a bit jerky. It is quite notably jerky. That's essentially taking us down to a third person. And then we could add a spring arm. So we've taken the third person and made it third. Somehow I've attached it to. So you got to no. There we go. Follow camera is in the spring arm. Yeah, no, that's right. Follow camera in the spring arm. But then what we want to do is remove the control from the camera and give it to the spring. All right. The pawn control rotation is quite important. The spring has got these settings, so let's have a look. This is the viewport. You can see the spring has kind of set it back a mile for some reason. Why has he got the camera there? Minus 300, that's probably something to do. That's an old artifact or something. That looks hopelessly wrong to me, but let's just see how that looks. I've not tried this at all with the spring arm now. That sets back miles for some reason. The spring arm is... Oh, it's going to have a thingy. It's going to have the target arm length, which we put that to 0, and then we're right on its head. So the target arm length is 0. Now, I put it forward a bit last time, which was 20 forward, so it's in front of his head, or 15 or something like that. Let's see how that looks. Compile it, have a look. So this is supposed to be a nice, smoother. It is a bit, actually, I think, straight off the bat. Maybe I'm imagining it. Some people, that could well be exactly the same, except the placement. Still a bit jerky and, yeah, jumpy, isn't it? And that's quite similar to previously, but we can add lag to it. We can give it a bit of lag, which supposedly should make it look nice. Let's have a look. Except because I didn't start with the arms, the lag on a spring arm still gives you his head, so it's nice, but his head's in the way. So we got to start with just those arms. So it seems like if you use the spring arm or the boom, and I probably want to read the manual to see the differences. Let's just switch his head off. Is there a switch head off? I've not used it enough to tell you the difference between a spring arm and what was the boom arm. But you put it on the arm and you get lag. You can use lag for a start, and there's a load of other settings. Yeah, they're probably good when you get used to it. Yeah, that's just something I wanted to show. I'll cut out there because I'm going to read the manuals, try and work out what's going on a bit more. How to disable his head. If you want that total body, and I think I'll be here a while if I just start messing around, because is there a visible for his mesh? Where's his mesh? I've not really messed around with it. It's just going to be, you're going to have to sit here and wait while I find the things to press. So yeah, I'll call it, variable name, visible. Yeah, anyway, that's just some stuff you can play around with the cameras. I'll come back to this kind of thing. Visible, there we go. Alright, so that's his mesh is not visible. Alright, so this is guy invisible with a bit of a lag on his first person off a spring arm. I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to experiment with this kind of thing, but that has making his mesh invisible. You can't see his arms or anything, but as to the smoothness of that, my box is whirring like crazy at the moment. Yeah. If we played around with so his mesh was, the visible was switched off. Yeah, so we switched his mesh up, but the spring arm is had some lag on it. You can speed up the lag or slow the lag down. Camera lag max distance. We could have set a max distance. That may have changed the seeing his head thing a little bit. Okay, so this is a bit slower lag. Yeah, I see what you mean. You can play around with that kind of thing. I mean, I'm not sure. I know in Unity, if I build it, if you build the thing, it actually sometimes runs a bit quicker than the editor. Anyway, I'm going to play around with it some more and have a look, but there's some stuff you can do with the camera. Okay, thanks for watching.